We will now begin the press conference by Foreign Minister Hayashi. Mr. Hayashi, the floor is yours. Thank you very much. I have no initial statement. If you have a question, please raise your hand and ask your question after mentioning your name and affiliation at the closest microphone. Do you have a question? Mainichi Shimbun, Takeuchi-san. I'm Takeuchi of Mainichi Shimbun. I have a question with regards to assistance to Ukraine. US and Germany announced their provision of tanks to Ukraine. Ukraine welcomed it, and it is asking for the provision of weapons which can change the battle station to international community. Japan can't provide tanks, but as a member of G7, how Japan is to support Ukraine?
Japan has been providing about $500 million support of the supplementary budget, which totals to $1.5 billion to Ukraine and the neighboring countries. Japan will exert leadership as a G7 and host country, and we will continue to cooperate with the international community as well as the G7 countries. We will continue to support standing close to Ukraine who are faced with difficulty. Now, Japan has cooperated with Cambodia in support for anti-landmines and unexploded ordnances. We will utilize the experience as well as the knowledge that we have built thus far. We will continue to effectively provide the support to Ukraine, which clearly shows Japan's face. Uechi-san, Asahi Shimbun. Uechi, Asahi Shimbun. I have a related question. In the Foreign Affairs divisions of LDP, how the defense equipment ought to be provided is under discussions. In the national security strategy, which was amended, is also under discussions. What is the schedule as well as the method that the government is currently considering?
As Japan is facing the most severe and complicated security environment, the ministry is intending to secure peace and stability of Japan and explore means to continue proactive contribution to the peace and stability of the region and the world. Transfer of the defense, particularly for the peace and stability of the Indo-Pacific, would be an important political means to create a favorable security environment for Japan by deterring unilateral change of status quo by force. With respect to the specifics of the consideration and schedule about the region of the policies and systems, including the three principles of the transfer of the defense equipment and technology and their guidelines for operations, I'd like to refrain from making a statement based on speculation, but the government will make further coordination with due care and study the matter thoroughly. Abe-san from Yomiuri Shimbun. I'm Abe from Yomiuri Shimbun. In relation to the support for the Ukraine, the other day, there was a online meeting held amongst the G7 countries and the like-minded countries. What is the significance? And this year, Japan holds a presidency of G7. And the meeting was co-hosted by Japan and the United States on the energy. And why was it co-hosted with US?
On the 24th, myself and State Secretary Blinken co-hosted G7 plus a ministerial the foreign ministers meeting to provide the support in the energy field to Ukraine. The U.S. is taking a leadership in providing the support in the energy field to Ukraine. So we have cooperated with the U.S. And co-hosted the event as the host nations of the G7 countries. Now, Russia is intentionally targeting energy and infrastructure, which is directly related to the living of the people. We strongly condemn them, and as an emergency support to Ukraine, we have provided 300 generators as well as 83,500 solar lanterns. And furthermore, we are considering of providing additional generators. And as country which have the presidency of the G7, We will strongly promote the support to Ukraine, inclusive of the winterization assistance, including the electric power. The G7 foreign ministers, as well as cooperating with the major international institutions to maintain and restore the energy and infrastructure is the urgent needs, and we have discussed over those topics. We will continue to share the information about the initiative of each country, and inclusive of the winterization support, we have confirmed the necessity to continue with the support from Foreign Minister Kreva and other foreign ministers has expressed the appreciations for Japan to take a lead as a G7 host nation and its proactive role in support of the Ukraine in the energy field. G7, the like-minded countries, foreign ministers, and international organizations are united, and it was such a significant thing that we confirm the importance of continuously support Ukraine. Kyodo Kinashi-san, please. Kinashi. Kyodo, slightly changing the topic. My question is about the Development and Cooperation Charter. In the press conference held on the 25th of November, based on the report of the expert, you announced that you would like to announce the main point about the amendment and of the charter. However, no announcement was made about the main point of the amendment. Have there been any changes to the drafting of the charter? What is the current status of the development of the charter?
Yes, currently, targeting the first half of this year, we're now working on coming up with a new development cooperation charter. So at what timing and in what format should the government express its idea? We're now discussing within the government. After this, there is a public official duty, so next question will be the last question. NHK Morita-san. I'm Morita from NHK. So this week, the diet session started, and in the policy statement, it was mentioned that the Global South involvement will be strengthened. But there will be a Hiroshima summit in May, but how the involvement of the Global South will be strengthened, and what is your view about the significance of working with those countries?
The so-called Global South, which refers to emerging as well as the developing countries, is increasing its presence both economically as well as politically. And the Russia's aggressions against Ukraine from last year has given a tremendous impact to the peoples living and inclusive of the Global South in various fronts such as the energy and the food. Under such circumstances, G7 Hiroshima summit ought to be held. We plan to discuss over the urgent topics by the G7, and including of the global economy, which includes energy and food, as well as the climate change, health, development. And through the proactive contributions to these challenges, we would like to strengthen our involvement to the Global South. We will cooperate with other G7 countries. This concludes today's press conference. Thank you for your attendance.